you know when you first get on Putlocker? Do you remember when you first
Yeah.
and her was always on the front page? And
2013 vibes. It was her and it was Wolf of Wall Street, do you remember?
yeah.
There was a time period where it was just her and it was Wolf of Wall Street. I remember. I know the time you're talking about.
I like watched her before I was into films and really liked it.
All of my boys saw the film Her, and I was so shocked. And I realized it's because it was on Putlocker homepage. Like when I was at, because I was in secondary school. We were at secondary school. That film came out, right?
2013.
So I'm at King Edwards. Imagine none of the boys talk about films in that, and they all come up to me. They're like, "Yo, you seen that Joaquin Phoenix movie?" And I was like, "Whoa, wait, hold on." I was like, "Time, yeah, I've seen the Joaquin Phoenix one." Yeah, I was like, "They're like, yo, I think Her was really a great exploration of love," and I was like, "Whoa."
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Letterboxd 250 podcast. I am your host, Kyle. I am, of course, joined by the one and only.
You already know me, the Shack Daddy himself, Big Shees, Certified Lover Shees, aka if your girl asking about me, please, I'm a married man.
And
Simon.
Every week, I know what you're gonna do, but every week,
okay.
It's a long pause just for Simon. How are you guys doing? You okay?
Sensational.
Yeah, man, not too bad.
Nice change of scenery for you, Sherrick.
Yeah, I'm in the prison library right now. They're holding me down, but they never stop. You never stop a brown man getting knowledge. Word to the God, 5 pillars.
Are you in like the middle of the university at the moment?
You know what? This is my favorite place at university because it's not the bridge. This is, remember that there's this room at university, right, where the desk goes up and down. I'm in that room.
Yeah. So is there no one at all in that room?
No one comes in this room at all. And normally the security guards are great. There's one security guard outside now who's just a dick, and he's been like a dick every time I've met him. And he goes to me, I go, "Why is the door locked?" I go, "It's normally open, right? I had to get to open it for me." And he goes, "Well, the last time I was here, it was locked." I go, "No, it wasn't, because you came in, turned on the lights like a dickhead, and you left. So I don't know why you're lying to me." Like, I was here. I was like, I've been at this one computer here where I'm sat, and the computer's been like shifted for weeks because I've been working here for weeks. Just a dick.
I love how this, like, as well as being like a regular podcast, this is a university project. So there you are, like, roasting the security guards.
The security guard's the worst. He's not the Asian guy who's got with white hair. He's lovely. He's not the Asian guy with white hair. He's lovely. He's not the other old white guy. He's that guy who just sits there. He's just watching videos on Egypt right now. I don't know what he's doing. He's terrible security.
Terrible. Have you changed room? Simon, have you changed the room?
Yeah, Simon says he's back on too.
No, I haven't. It's the same room for every single episode.
No.
I'm joking.
He's got some daylight in.
I just out.
This is the first daytime edition.
Oh yeah,
the first time
I
ever recorded. Scary hours.
So yeah, should we go straight into the first film? Well, the only film.
Only film for today.
So the film we're going to be discussing today is North by Northwest. The film is about an advertising man named Roger Thornhill who is mistaken for a spy, triggering a deadly cross-country chase. This film is directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Is this your guys' first Alfred Hitchcock film?
Yeah. I'm trying to. I've seen like bits of Psycho.
Yeah. I'm assuming the shower scene.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, but no, I've seen bits of his films before. I've seen bits of like Rear Window, and I've seen him like. I think with Alfred Hitchcock, a lot of his films, I've seen him done like you see him done sometimes in parodies and stuff. Like before I ever saw that scene in Psycho, I used to watch this. I still watch The Simpsons, but like in The Simpsons, you saw like a Rear Window homage. But you don't know it's when you're like 4 years old. You don't know it's a Rear Window homage. You don't know it's they're doing North by Northwest or whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. But what there was like a Family Guy episode, North by North Quahog, like you know what I mean? Like there's lots of like different stuff with where it's done in homages, and you don't realize what you're seeing. But this is my first full official Hitchcock film. Yes, to answer the question.
What about you, Simon, as the resident cinephile of the group? How many of you?
I'm a film buff, so of course. I think this is my third or fourth. I've watched this. So, Rear Window, Psycho. I mean, if you've watched any like anything that has a shower scene, you've watched Psycho. Basically, there's no reason to even watch the original.
In the
And
Dairy Olympic in Long Haul, there's a Psycho.
really,
Well, it's actually no, but that's what I'm saying. It's so ingrained in pop
yeah,
films.
yeah.
Films are so ingrained in culture. It's insane.
Even Rihanna has a scene like Psycho from
No,
Bates Motel, or was it?
But it wasn't based
That's
on
literally
that's literally Psycho, though.
literally exactly. So you don't even have to watch the film.
It's one of those
And
things.
Vertigo, that's it.
I watched that. I saw Bates Motel, if that counts. That was a great show.
You can't.
But even actually, weird enough that you say the thing about like it was a Diary of a Wimpy Kid. A direct reference to North by Northwest is in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where Gamora's getting chased and she gets shut down, but the shot's the exact same. He stole the same shot to put a spaceship in there. Yeah, when Gamora's running from the spaceship shooting it down.
Oh, and like when she ducks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because she's in like an alien field or something.
Sherrick, do you want to go first? What did you make of the film?
I loved it. I really enjoyed this. This Hitchcock guy knows how to direct a film. Like,
I've heard.
He's not half bad at this.
He's been making noise in these cinema streets.
You know what I mean? He used to work with Tarantino or something. Like, get something popping up. But yeah. I heard. No, obviously I'd heard he's a great director, but it's different when you actually see how masterful. Because he's a legend, and everyone talks about him as a legend. But it's different when you actually see it in action. One of my favorite shots in the entire film is he's running out of. It wasn't the train station. He's running out of the hotel building, and the shot is like from the top, and it's so beautifully cut. That was gorgeous, and the way it turns, and even the tension you feel. That man's a horny guy, bro. Can we talk about how horny Hitchcock is? His whole film is one of the horniest.
This film is one of the
horniest.
Very, very.
The horniest films I've ever seen. Shorty sees my boy. She sees Roger Frieda, bro. She sees him straight there on the train, yeah. And she was like, yo. She had to get rid of him, and she was like, I'm gonna fuck this guy. She's like, that's it. I told it. She was like,
from the offset, they're just flirting with each other. Like, there's no like introduction.
Bro.
Did you guys clock the innuendo when they're in the train cabin after he evades the checks, and then they start kissing, and the train camera shot goes outside the cabin and inside the tunnel? Did you clock it? I swear that was on purpose.
If you didn't clock it at the beginning, you didn't clock it at the end where it
ended. Yeah, exactly. That is definitely.
Gosh. Imagine when it's so good that you're trusted to hold you down when you're on trial for murder. Not even trial, but like you're being. Everyone says you killed a man. You've done this. You've done that. And you're like, yeah, but it's too good, bro. It just feels too good.
One take, Sherrick, can we circle back? Do you know when you said about the crane shot, like the overhead shot when he runs out?
Insane. That shot, and especially when you think about the time it was done in, is like, that film was what? Do you have the date from that film came out?
59.
59, yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine, right? A lot of people can't do that shot now, let alone 1959. That shit's insane. He's so well, like, bro. I love this film front and back. I know we're just doing opening thoughts now. I'll get to my deeper thoughts in a minute. But yeah, it's really good. It was spectacular. But I had one big issue with it, but I'll get into that.
Yeah.
After.
Why I brought up that shot is because this is one of like the oldest films I've ever seen. Like, I haven't watched a lot of classic films from like the 50s or 60s, and I was like, I didn't know they did shots like that back then. Like,
it's crazy. 100%.
It was like, I didn't know people like cared so much about like cinematography. Like, now everyone's like, oh, what a shot that is. Like, imagine back then, like, being like, is that possible?
And plus,
did they use like miniatures?
If they got it wrong as well, it'd be so expensive to do again.
Yeah. Like, before I say any more, Simon, what did you think?
I think it was so fun. So fun. You can really see the inspiration it has and all the films that come after it. Namely, of course, The Bond, Total Recall, and any film with like a government conspiracy.
Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Captain America, Winter Soldier, direct rip.
I was only joking, but
no, it is very. Winter Soldier is a better film, obviously, but.
before I started it, I was like, am I gonna like this? It's like from the 50s, like it's my first Hitchcock film. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be for me. And from the off, this is like one of the funniest films I've ever seen. And it's not even listed as a comedy.
Yeah.
Every line out of this guy's mouth is it's a quip. Like
The very witty dialogue, yeah.
like someone would say like something deadly serious, and he'll just crack a joke, and like he's from the start he's like a man like under pressure, like he's got a target on his back.
Yeah.
Not once does this man like contemplate like how serious the situation is.
Oh, Cary Grant's obviously a legend.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys ever see Bringing Up Baby, the screwball comedy? It was Cary Grant and Hepburn. What's her name? Something Hepburn.
Aubrey. No, Aubrey's Drake.
Aubrey as well. I was like, I know that's Drizzy Drake, King Slime. Can't be anybody else. But I don't even think it was her. I can't remember who it was. It's gonna just bug me now. But in Bringing a Baby, and that was the first like Cary Grant film I saw. He's got the comedic chops and stuff, but that was a screwball comedy. Yeah. He has such a leading. You don't just see someone, you're like, he has such a leading man presence.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got hiccups. He has that leading man presence throughout the entire film. But I just wanted to piggyback off something you said just for a second there, when you were like, from the very beginning, how he's like a man under pressure and stuff. Isn't that insane how the events of the film like take place? How he's literally just going to a hotel and then he just rolls with it.
Yeah.
It's the most like.
Even the part when he meets the professor, he just casually says, "Oh, okay, what's going on?" And he tells him, and he just
rolls with everything.
This is like, crazy. Not to discredit the film in any way, but I sometimes found it funny how quick it was moving. Like, do you know?
I think I think they did that on purpose, to be honest.
When you said the professor, was you on about when he's at the hotel? And
it's on the plane at the what's it called? Plane station, not plane station. Airport.
The police drop him off at the airport.
Yeah, and instead of the professor telling him everything that he needs to do, or the whole story again, because for us it would be like exposition. They just blank it out with like the plane, and then they're just talking. We know the story, and it just goes on. It's so good though. That's so clever.
That was an A1. That was an A1.
That was very clever. Yeah.
The bit where I was cracking up was when he goes to the hotel to meet the guy who's got like his name or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the guy gets stabbed, and like for no reason, like he takes it out of his back and he's holding it, and like he draws attention to it.
And he catches and he
holds him in the body, and
that was like the scene.
So stupid.
Like the scene in The Greatest Showman when like they take a photo, and like the next shot is like the newspaper, and like he's
and him and they go cheating,
but then drew the picture anyway, which makes no sense.
Oh god.
But I was getting Invisible Man vibes with the knife bit. Like that's probably been done before, but that's what my mind went straight to.
With me, it wasn't even. You know what I loved about this film, and I think this is like a rarity, especially now. Like look in the modern day, with everything we watch now, like every single shot, every single thing has to be like explained. And I think people fall into the trap sometimes of over explaining. Like if film was made now, they're like, okay, there's a reason in there. And this film, it just gives you nothing. It's like not even a real person. It's like this mystery character we all thinking up, not even a real person.
Even the thingy, like the anchor of the entire film, which is like the painting, which has stuff in it. You don't even know what's in the painting.
You don't know what's in the painting, and I wouldn't even
why
think that's
exactly
the anchor of the film. What sets all the wheels in motion? You are a cinephile. What sets all the wheels in motion? Sets all the wheels in motion is we don't even know why he's going to that restaurant. If you show that film now, be like, I have to go to the restaurant for dinner with important buyers. He's going to have a meal casually, raises his hand to just be like, yo, can someone tell my mom that, hello, excuse me. He's just a rude to waiters, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what and not once did anybody bother to check if it was real. They were like, we know it's you. We know it's you. I'm like,
on that point, Chad, what was your big negative you were talking about?
I thought so when I was watching it, I had it like downloaded so I could see how long was like left. And I'm loving the film. And when I'm loving the film, I don't really check the time. But I was like, I swear this was 2.5 hours. And I just looked at my watch and I was like, yeah, it has been like 2.5 hours. So I said, but this doesn't feel like it's at the end. You know when he's like climbing the what's it called? The Washington Monument. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No, it's not the Washington
Mount
Monument.
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. He's climbing Mount Rushmore, which is such a national treasure moment. He's like climbing Mount Rushmore, and then going down. I was like, and the guys are chasing him. I was like, there's no way this resolves itself in the next minute. So I looked at the runtime, and there was only 1 minute 41 left. And I was like, there's no way this gets resolved in 1 minute 41. I was like, there's no way in hell. Right? I thought, have I downloaded the wrong copy? Am I missing like the last 20 minutes? I said, what's going on? So I checked. I went on Google. I was like, how long is this film? And he was like, that's the exact runtime. It matches up with what I've got. I was like, okay. And then it just ends. One of the guys slips and dies. The professor comes and murders the other two. And it just wipe transitions to them back on a train. And I was like,
no, it wasn't. It was the manish cut where like he goes to reach for her, and then it cuts to him picking her up.
Yeah, picking up onto the bed of the train.
That was very good. Yeah,
an absolute madman with the cuts.
Yeah, he was insane. I was watching the film, and I was like, and then it just like almost instantly cuts to that shot of just the train going into. I was like, this is the horniest film I've ever seen in my life. I was like, he doesn't care about anything but the horny aspects of the film.
Simon, was there anything you didn't like?
I put here on my notes. It's not realistic, guys. Let's just be honest, okay? Let me explain.
What is more realistic than Soul?
Yeah, but still, I didn't fart, by the way. But still, like, I didn't fart. That was my mouth.
Was it a very realistic fart?
Yeah. Like, he didn't show for like 2 days or 2 days before he met her, and he still got with her. That's not happening in real life.
Man, it was sorry, I had to interrupt you for 1 second. That was 1959. You get me? When men were men, women were women. Men didn't have to shower because they brought home the bacon, the haram bacon.
Didn't he just feel like a movie star? Like, I believe that she liked him because, like,
his swag was off the charts. Like,
those films have. Carry on.
Sorry, you started speaking. I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay. Those films have like this elegance that we don't see anymore.
Yeah. And if it was tried to happen today, it'd feel like it'd be trying to replicate something that's
exactly. They're so effortless back then.
Who on like a Cary Grant level do you guys think is still a movie star, and male or female, is like a movie star in the modern
We don't have any. I don't think we don't have any. We have action stars still. They're like 2 or 3. We don't have movie stars that do like these type of films, big films. Maybe Timothy. Maybe Timothy.
No, not
in the future.
Timothy.
In the future.
I was gonna say Tom Cruise. Are we not? No, who has the magnetism and the power, and he can open a film like Cary Grant could. Tom Cruise.
But that's typical for action stars, though. Like,
but he's not an action star. He's a movie. Tom Cruise is a movie star.
I know. They say movie stars there.
For me, it depends on like what qualifies as a movie star. Because in my head, I'm thinking movie star is someone who brings in guaranteed box office. So you can put DiCaprio in anything, and that's going to make money.
Actually, he's still he's still
star. There you go.
And the person who gives off the most energy as a movie star to me is Brad Pitt. Like, in Once Upon a Time.
Brad Pitt.
In Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like his character basically sleepwalks his way through that film, where he's just so cool. But then think of like Ad Astra. How much did that make at the box office? Like
that made back its profit, though, didn't it? And it did.
I think it made back its money, but not big profit.
But saying the
I didn't expect big profit from it, but like I expected, it made money.
But in my head, I'm trying to think. Say if you put Leo in that role, does it make more?
Like how the Revenant made bank.
And like think about it. Say if they'd cast like who's a big indie star? Let's say like Lucas Hedges. That's the first person who came to mind. Say if you cast him in like the lead role of the Revenant. That's not making any money.
Yeah. Imagine that film. Lucas Hedges like kind of cold.
Like we had this conversation in the group chat recently. Like who's the it boy at the moment? Like
is Timothy?
Is that Tom Holland?
And Daniel Kluger?
Did we have this conversation?
in a group chat that
Oh, when Simon, yeah. Timothy Chalamet. I remember now. I remember.
way I classify movie star is people will go and watch it just because someone's in it, and it will take them out like their comfort zone. Like I know people who are going to watch Cherry, who have no interest in like the plot or the story or like the backstory, but they'll watch it because Tom Holland's in it.
Yeah.
So that
I would say Timothy Chalamet then by that reasoning, and I'll tell you why. Because your point with Cherry is good, like people will go watch it, but that's them what I'm saying at the moment. If I give you like concrete proof, people watch The King because Timothy Chalamet was in it. That was a popular film because of Timothy Chalamet. You know what I mean? And people watch Beautiful Boy because of him, not because of Steve Carell. They went to watch.
So I told you, he's a movie star now.
Chalamet, he is. I don't think he's all the way there. I think when Dune comes out,
after I was gonna say after Dune, he'll be
comes out. But
that's gonna be his Titanic, I think.
He hosted SNL, right?
Yeah.
He hosted SNL, and that's a big thing. Like that shows you you're a movie. You know what I mean? You are a star if you do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were way off track.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's really elegant. It embodies that period that period of films very well. The story is so effortless. It runs, you get lost, and you don't even care about the runtime, and before you know it, it's already over. So in that sense, it's an amazing film, and it's structured so well where unnecessary space is almost, it seemed to me at least, non-existent. Only bad things I've seen put here was, of course, it wasn't realistic. Alongside that, the cyclical execution of the story felt kind of silly, like how, basically, it was funny, but I don't know how to explain this, man.
The what bit wasn't executed well? Sorry.
The cyclical execution. They kept going round in story, trying to make him understand who he was, basically.
Oh.
That was pretty annoying to me. It wasn't a big thing, like it wasn't like a problem that much, but it was still kind of annoying. Apart from that, it was, and James Mason was a standout for me, the villain. He embodied
he was good.
He embodied a quiet and unbothered menace so well. Yeah.
I just have a quick question for you, Simon. I forgot to ask you this last week, but just a quick question. How did this movie make you feel? How did it make you feel?
Simon.
Happy.
Simon,
He's frozen.
You're frozen? You're frozen? But you froze. We got to do that again. we got to do that again.
Have you guys frozen? Or am I frozen?
You froze. Simon, we did that again. Hold on.
Did I said happy? Damn it.
Yeah, okay, Simon, hold on. So, Simon, how did that movie make you feel?
Happy.
So,
Kyle, do you want to give you?
What would be your final score, Simon?
4. Easily 4.
So, do you know what? I really liked it, but what happened was I watched it on my iPad for the first half, and this is like behind the scenes details. I was trying to upload the episode 1 or episode 2, and it takes up the entire Wi-Fi, and on my iPad it like was buffering the whole time, so I had to switch to my phone and watch it on my data, and like the vibe was just it was never the same after that. But I also
Hitchcock in his grave right now.
Yeah, who said it? Was it Scorsese who said you're not meant to watch films on your phone?
I think
or someone else.
No, just Christopher Nolan. Christopher
Nolan.
Yeah, but then I switched, but I also switched at the halfway point, which I do think the pace took a dip then anyway. Like I think the first half is moving so quickly, and then I enjoyed all the stuff on the train, but once he hops off the train, I preferred the first half a lot more to anything that happens after that. And it picks up a bit at the end with the climax of the film. And I really enjoyed the scene where, she fired blanks.
Oh, yeah, that was very... I was like, whoa.
It wasn't even that bit. It was the bit where it was revealed, like, the guy was suspicious of her. And he
that was a very good scene.
He points the gun at like the leader and like shoots, and I was like, "What the hell just happened? Has he betrayed him?" He's like, "No."
Yeah, that was
a great scene. And
Leonard, what are you doing?
Come give me a kiss.
So, I do think I'd like to rewatch it. I think my viewing experience was diminished because of that. So I'm only going to give it a 3.5, which is still a positive rating.
Okay.
But
yeah, and
I will-
are we doing anything above a 3 is a positive?
Yeah.
yeah,
I use 3 as like the middle as like
Yeah.
good. Anything
like,
below that is not good at all.
I watched The Proposal the other day and gave it a 3 because I enjoyed it enough.
Wait, the Reynolds and Sandra Bullock.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
Great. Rom-coms are amazing, man.
But then,
It's got
yeah,
a 5.
and I did really like this, but I wasn't able to like love it as much as I wanted to because of that. And it's no like fault of the film. I do think the pace dipped, but that's the biggest reason, unfortunately. So I will rewatch it, and I will watch a lot more Hitchcock films because I did really enjoy this.
You're gonna hit yourself onto his cock.
Oh my! I was gonna say,
Great minds, Simon Lucas.
I'm gonna go.
Professor Simon. Every time we go back and forth, you know, on this podcast, it's like Professor X and Magneto. You know, I love you. I gotta destroy you.
Do the Dragon Ball thing.
You.
Wait, where were you?
What way am I for you, Simon? Do you want me to come this way?
Yeah,
no
and
matter
then
where we go, it changes
Ready?
once you look at
Simon,
it.
you gotta do it. You.
But what was I gonna say? How did it make me feel, Sharif? Before you even ask,
yeah.
I was
How did it make you feel?
entertained and I was entertained and laughing constantly. I thought it was hilarious the first half, and like it was just it was so well written.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sharif, I would give it a 3.5. What about you?
I thought this was one of the horniest films I've ever seen in my entire life. And I mean, just throughout, I was in such a horny vibe. And like, down to his interactions with his mom, I was like, yo, this is a ridiculously horny film. You know, and I was like, at your age, why are you so close to your mother?
One that
It's very
question:
odd.
didn't his mom look younger than him?
Yeah, she was mad younger than him, which is just typical Hollywood at it, because it's like, you know, that's why it's not a horny film, because his mom looks like, you know, she don't look like his mom, bro. You know what I mean? You know. Anyway, but no, the whole I love the film. I think some of the flaws, for example, that you had with it, Simon, and that you had with the Kyle, with which is the first half of that. I see where you're coming from. You talked about the cyclical nature of it, and you talked about how the first half was faster than the second. I guess in the way that I differ from you, Kyle, is I watched it in one sitting, so I didn't feel the shift wasn't notable for me. I think if you paused it, I understand what you're saying. If you paused it in the middle and then you went back to it, you can see how it slowed down. But if you watch it in one sitting, the whole thing just it start to finish just goes. My only issue really was the ending, which I talked about before. Although it ended very abruptly, I see you guys like the cut. For me, personally, you know, I like your cut, G. But for me, it didn't really do anything. The ending, I thought it was just so sudden and abrupt, and I was kind of like, it's like, imagine you can have a really good meal, you're really enjoying it, and you're going through, and then on the last bite, you just bite into a razor. You're like, what the hell? It would just ruin the overall. Even though I enjoyed the first, you know, all of the meals, all you remember is like the end, the last bite. You're like, a bit weird.
No, it was also jarring because the credits happened at the start of the film, which
the credit sequence was. Can we talk about it, by the way? The credit sequence was gorgeous, and Hitchcock was there right at the beginning of the film trying to get on the bus.
Well, bus. I thought it was a taxi for a second. The way I remember.
They're trying to get on the bus. Yeah.
How did it make you feel, Sherry?
I felt excited. It gave me the feeling of like it was a thriller. It was a thriller in it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, going back to what Simon was saying with the original like Bond films, I do get a very similar feeling watching the Bond films, because it's like, especially weirdly enough, the Bond films that remind me of more so than like the new Daniel Craig ones, who's my favorite one. It reminded me of, you know, the Pierce Brosnan ones. Because Pierce Brosnan's films were very much just vibes. Same with like the Sean Connery and like the earlier stuff. But the Pierce Brosnan ones were just like, he just went from A to B to C to, he's like, now I'm in Korea, now I'm here, now I'm there. he just kept going place to place to place. In the newer ones, it's more like a reasoning and it's more like an emotional core to it. In those ones, it's very much like this film. It just, and you know, they both got that movie star charm. They both got the vibe. You know, even in the Pierce Brosnan ones, you know, he pulls up to those films. He sees the beautiful woman. The woman's like, Bond, maybe we should go to my room. And that literally happens in this film as well.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I forgot his name now. What was his name?
Who?
What? The salesman.
Thornhill.
yeah, Roger, let's go to my room. Like, you know what I mean? It's the exact same vibe.
I will say
I really enjoyed it.
it did its job as a spy mystery as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, at the start you was intrigued as hell, weren't you? Like, I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, who's Kaplan?
I was trying to all the good films of that nature, like all the good like mystery films, you're trying to figure out in your head at the same time as it goes on. So the fact that I was there and what I loved, I don't know if you guys liked it as much as I did, but when it turns out it's just a complete random. It was such a good twist because I was like, yeah, because there's no way it's gonna live up to what's in your head.
Yeah.
There was no way it can live up to what's in your head because the film's not built for that. My overall rating of this film, so yeah, it made me feel very excited. I really enjoyed it. My overall rating of this film, I would give it I'm feeling a light to moderate 4.
So it's one of the better films we've watched so far.
I think it's the best one so far.
I'm keeping mental track of our rank. Soul was number 1.
Yeah.
Then it's Taste. This is the average. So Soul was number 1. Then it was this North by Northwest, like you know Top Gear for the push the speeds. Soul was number 1. Then it's North by Northwest. Then it was Tasted Cherry. Then it was La Belle Noire.
Yeah.
Right back. What I still can't believe I wasted 4 hours of my life watching that.
So I believe next week's film is Entranced Earth. If it's not, I will adjust it in the comments. So what have you guys been watching this week?
So, you know, let me check my letterbox.
I have a film that I think both of us have watched, Simon, that we both like.
I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot, yeah. This is a very good sort of mystery comedy thriller, but it made me think about North by Northwest. We won't get into the details.
Yeah, no specifics. So I want to watch it.
But at the start,
on my list,
there's an intrigue built up. Like something happened, and you're like, "What's happening here?" And once again, I think they reveal the cards way too early. So I mean, you know, like there's
and it turns into an entire different film afterwards.
Yeah,
there's
mystery built around this one person, and then I feel like they reveal what that mystery is too quick. If they save that to like halfway through the film, or even like a quarter in, they reveal it within like the first half an hour, and then it becomes clear what the film is. Where I feel like they could have built more suspense, but it's still a very strong film. I like it.
Very fun, yeah. It's good.
A lot of criticisms that the main character is too dislikable.
I mean, that's the whole point. Like, if you watch it, it's like the whole Malcolm and Marie stuff again. Just watch the film, guys.
In real life, if this character
I still need to watch that film.
She does. This market exists. This what
they exist in real life. They deserve to rot in hell. But it's
bro, it's crazy.
What's
the thingy? Now you should watch it if you don't know what it is and see what the market is for yourself. It's crazy. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it. Yeah. I know I've been talking like for the very first episode. I was like, yeah, watch Malcolm and Marie after this. Still have not seen it. But I'm getting back.
They're on Netflix.
No, thanks, Simon. I know exactly where they are.
You're welcome. Oh yeah.
But once again, I feel like with this, the main character is doing despicable things. But if we can watch a film about a clown that kills people, like you know what you're getting into. If you think it's like a despicable premise, just don't watch the film.
Yeah, it's not Sallow. Have you guys watched Sallow?
No, but I don't want to.
What's that?
It's not as like it is like really bad, but not like as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
No, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that.
Sallow. Let me give you the 4 thingy synopsis quickly.
Yeah. Do I know anyone who's in it? Would I have heard of it?
Nah, I didn't know anyone who was in it. Sallow. So the title is Sallow, or the 120 Days of Sodom. So you know what Sodom and Gomorrah is.
Jesus. 120 days.
It says here on Letterboxd, the final vision of a controversial filmmaker. 4 corrupted fascist libertines round up 9 teenage boys and girls and subject them to 120 days of sadistic, physical, mental, sexual torture. So yeah, it is bad, but like, guys, just hear me out. Not as bad.
I watched a bunch of short films this week. Actually, I didn't watch anything like long form. I'm meant to. It's been busy. It's been a busy week. I've been watching a lot of The Office, though. That is true. And I watched Gia Coppola. She did this short film with Elle Fanning. It was like a musical short film type thing. And I saw that the other day, which is quite good. I watched.
I think his daughters
No.
are like overrated. But carry on, Sharon.
Yeah, I didn't think it was anything special. No. Sophia Coppola, I think is good. Gia Coppola, I think it's just a family name, but you know, there might be a bit too much beef for our third
Yeah.
episode.
What's that
But,
word?
yeah,
Nepotism. That's it. They benefit a lot from it.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Well,
Way too
no.
much.
Sophia, I will say, she's earned her stuff because I think her body of work speaks for herself.
Who's the one that made Marie Antoinette? She's
Sophia
better in my
Coppola.
opinion. Yeah.
Sophia, no, that's what I mean. Sophia Coppola's body of work speaks for herself. Sophia
Yeah.
Coppola did Lost in Translation,
Right.
which I know I love it, but I understand. But even if you don't enjoy it, you gotta respect it at the very least, right? Lost in Translation, Marie Antoinette, The Bling Ring, The Beguiled. She just did On the Rocks last year. I'm missing Virgin Suicides. Even then, that's 6 films that are, you know what I mean? Good films. She's a good director. She's good at what she does, and she is excellent at that. Gia Coppola, I didn't see it, but then again, I want this to be very clear. I'm basing this on 2 things. I'm basing this on a musical short film I saw with Elle Fanning. I'm basing this on. Have you seen the film Palo Alto? I'm basically on Palo Alto.
Clips.
Palo Alto's terrible. But the best thing about Palo Alto is Dev Hynes did the soundtrack, and it's so dreamy. But the actual film is terrible. That film's made for teenage girls, which is what James Franco. It's made for teenage girls, which is what James Franco likes anyway. So it's fine. It works out for him very well. But it's all that film. I was bleeding at the arm just to appreciate the toilet. I was bleeding I was scratching and I was bleeding. But yeah, James Franco obviously notorious for the Me Too, just settled all these cases that he had against all this sexual notorious stuff he did with his students, which he more than likely did. But
crazy.
It was but Palo Alto's a terrible film. Palo Alto's made for white girls who go on Tumblr, look for moods, same vibes. You know people who post that same clip from Closer that says, lying's the most fun you can have without taking your clothes off. Yeah, that's what the movie's made for. Enjoy it. Enjoy Palo
I am
Alto
one of those white girls. I do that.
I know you are. I know it is. It's a terrible film.
Let's move on to our final 4 recommendations. Does anyone have any planned?
I have one.
I'll make a random one in my head. It's best to come
Jarrett,
off my head, yeah.
If you have one planned, Jarrett, you go first.
I have one plan. So for this week, I thought I'd change up a little bit because the film we watched was North by Northwest. I thought let's go back with another classic, a bit more a modern classic more so than an older classic. This is 2004, I believe this film came out. It could be 2000. Actually, I think it's 2005. It could be 2005. Sorry, 2005. I think it is. It is the Tim Burton film Corpse Bride. There's no real narrative links between it, but it just I don't know. It was just a week I was thinking about the Corpse Bride, but I do think it's an underappreciated classic of a film. The animation style is all done stop motion. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a clay type image they're trying to go for with the stop motion. They don't really make films like this anymore. The only people who really make films like this now are Leica, and Leica actually did work on this as the animators. But if this was before they were Leica, this is whatever they were before. And the film itself is gorgeous. The world is gorgeous. The story is very simple. It follows this character voiced by Johnny Depp called Victor. He's got the very classic of Tim Burton, Gothic style. Victor's like this, he's a pale boy, wants to marry, love of his life, Emily. But and then he finally, through a series of mishaps, he finally got there. He's finally about to marry Emily. And then he accidentally he's trying to practice marriage, and he accidentally proposes to Victoria, who is the corpse bride, and who is an underrated baddie, may I say so myself. Jesus! Yo, woo! Woo! Can I get an amen, my brother? Yo, the corpse bride is bad. And she's voiced by Helena Bonham Carter, who's obviously a staple in the Tim Burton canon. She's been in so many of his films.
Isn't she his wife? Or wasn't she his wife?
No, she was his partner
cheated on
for
her?
a while. Yeah. With Eva Green, allegedly, but allegedly.
Yeah, he don't miss films and women. Anyway.
At the box office. But
yeah, I'm stating that.
Wow.
That was good.
Woo!
Wow. Peak podcast moment.
Oh my god.
That's going in the hits, baby. No, but
Cold open.
That make that a cold open, yeah.
It's gonna go open. Course Bride is just a fantastic film. I don't want to spoil too much for people who haven't seen it. It's a romantic film, but it's like nothing you've seen before. It's very good, and it's a very uniquely Tim Burton experience, and it's just delightful. And it's not too long. It's like an hour and 20, I think.
Like his relationships. Anyway.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay, let's
Probably lasted longer.
let's get off the Tim Burton hate wagon. Simon, do you have one, or do you want me to go next?
Yeah, so I had three. I've narrowed it down to one now.
Well, we only asked for one.
Yeah.
Just take it
I couldn't
easy, man.
pick. I couldn't pick.
Oh,
Calm down, Jamal. Calm down, Jamal.
Whoa,
Okay.
Jamal, don't grab the 9.
Okay, so yeah, mine's the best studio comedy of the last decade, Game Night. I just like I remember watching it. I had no idea. I don't think I even watched the trailer for it. I just saw the cast, and I like time off from classes, in between classes. I went and I was like, "Can I have a ticket for Game Night?" And I sat down, and my life changed. And here I am now, 4 years later.
Exact same.
That's what made
And
this cinephile.
Yeah.
And Simon, I will say, and I don't mean to speak for you, but I'm going to speak for you. That's one of the few films we've seen twice in cinemas. That might be the only film we've seen twice in cinemas. And I took you to watch that again.
I watched it alone at school on my own, and then I watched it when I came back Easter.
You watched it with me, and you said to me, I'm not gonna watch it again. It's not gonna be as good. I said, I bet you it will be. And you laughed even harder. You laughed even harder the second time.
Yeah.
Can I just say, because I was going to watch it anyway, because I did see the trailer and liked it. Simon messaged me saying, watch Game Night. Like he loved it. And then
it was so fun.
I wish I didn't watch the trailer, because you know the scene where it's revealed, like but when you realise what the premise is, it will blow your mind if you don't.
Like, I didn't see it coming, man. It was so fun. I see what you do. It. I see why Kai doesn't watch
the trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the trailer for that film. I saw it because of the cast. I already had a cinema card at this point.
Cast, yeah.
So I knew the cast, and I knew it was out. And I got cinema all the time, and like you gotta watch it. And sometimes you watch some shitters. I'm not gonna lie to you. Gringo was a terrible film. Like I see some shitters. You feel me? Like off cast alone, but when it works, like it did with this film, it just Game Night's one of the best films I've ever seen. And I've rewatched it like a good. I've never seen Game Night. I've seen it more than I've seen quite a few films. I've seen that shit like 4, maybe 5 times. And every time, it's just as funny as it was in the first.
Yeah, the chemistry between them is so good. Like, everyone hits their roles so out the park.
Yeah,
so
you believe it.
Before we move on from Game Night, I genuinely believe this, that Jesse Plemons deserved an Academy Award nomination for it.
Yeah,
for that film.
It's one of the funniest supporting performances of the time. And
I don't even think he deserved a nomination. He should have won Best Supporting Actor.
He just said that.
No, I
said a nomination.
Nomination.
Think about how many scenes he's in. He's only in like 5 scenes. He's the scene stealer, and like he has like an arc, and you feel bad for him.
Yeah.
And then he's like
His
this
wife.
fucking hero. Like it's so good. It's so good. And then like the last scene where he's doing charades, and he's like, no one can guess it is like the Green Mile. It's like that doesn't happen in the Green Mile. No, that's me crying at the Green Mile.
But yeah, go on.
Do you know what? We're 3 episodes in. I've tried to go for like indie flicks for my first 2 picks. I went for Clerks and Booksmart, but like if it's not evident by this podcast, like my taste in films is very like mainstream orient. I can't pronounce it.
Oriental.
Oriented.
No, I'm just trying to get to say Oriental.
And some news dropped the other day, and I thought it's about time I give myself a pick.
Yeah.
In there. The Spider-Man title was released.
Oh.
And you know what? I was gonna go for my favorite Spider-Man film. I'm not gonna go for it yet. I'm gonna go for Spider-Man Homecoming because first of all, me and you, Simon, watched it together, and I remember when we went to see it, and another word I can't pronounce, the orchestral theme.
So that's fine, yeah, orchestra,
yeah.
The goosebumps. Like, you know how long we waited.
And since then, we've been gassing up that scene on the car ride to the prom thingy.
Oh, that's one of the best scenes
Like,
like ever.
I didn't realize until he pointed out about the traffic light and his face
Yeah, that was
when it goes red. I didn't even clock it. It was so obvious. I didn't.
For me, as like a media student at the time, I was like, when he was thinking, there was a red light on him, but when he realized the green light hit, and then I was like, is it also a reference to the Vulture wearing?
The Vulture and Spider-Man. Red when he's thinking about Spider-Man. Goes
so,
to
like,
green.
What is that? Triple entendre.
I told you Simon doesn't watch films; just skims through them.
And if I was just a title to him, like to us,
You know
it's
what I
a
mean?
prophecy.
We live this lifestyle, Kyle. Simon just like he'll watch the film. He's like 2. He does all he's thinking the whole time. He's like 2.5. It's like a barter film for him. You don't care.
But
Since you like films, name all of them. Go ahead. Go ahead. Name all of the films.
Trained by the Lumiere brothers. Let's start right at the beginning.
Me and Simon watched it together, and like we obviously at the time never thought we'd see Spider-Man in the MCU. And not only was it finally there, it delivered, and like
so wow.
It works on different levels as like a coming of age, as an epilogue to what has come before. Like it came straight after Civil War, I believe, and Civil War was one of my favorites.
Year after.
I think even though they had to make adjustments, I think they do nail the character, and Tom Holland's excellent. He does bring like it's overused, but a joyful, youthful charm to the role.
I think it's perfect.
My favorite Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Because he's actually a teenager when he started. Was he a teenager when he started? He was 19, 18 when he started.
Also,
when he was
I gotta say, and this is all I'm gonna say about it. Yo, Tom Holland Spider-Man, batting 100. Say no more. Say no more.
But I was gonna say he's the best part. I was going to say he's the best part, but I'm going to say that like Tom Holland and this person are on the same level. But Michael Keaton's Vulture is one of the best MCU villains. Like, do you know the reveal when he was at the door, but when he went to pick up his date? Did it take you like a second for it to hit? Like,
I didn't even clock. I was like when I saw it, I was like, what? But my mind was like blown.
Yeah, and it's just such like a simple but such a like it was set up as well because obviously he's like doing these jobs to get money and like obviously he lives in the nicest house, which also like works to the point, you know, like he's like, I'm working for like the little guy, and he's like, come on, Tony doesn't think about people like us. But have you seen his house compared to like the house Peter's living in? It's like little stuff like that. So
that film
I of course realized straight away because you know I wrote the film. That's how much a film buff I am. So you guys, you know, you can ridicule, but
my film is so rewatchable as well. Like I love Spider-Man Homecoming. It's one of my favorite films in general. It's so rewatchable. You know, it's so good. But my thing about it, and I've seen it a bunch of times now. You know when they go to the party, I don't know if you guys are going back to this. When they go to the party at Liz's house in the middle of the film, if you pause it, you can see Michael Keaton like the picture of the shot. Like they telegraphed it once you know, like when you rewatch it. You see the scene where he walks into. It's literally when he walks into the house. There's the picture right in the corner of the screen, and it's Michael Keaton and Liz and his wife, like a three of them. You can barely see it. Obviously, it's out of frame. But if you look at it for more than a second, you're like, that's Michael Keaton. It's clearly Michael Keaton.
I think we all have a group pick in mind because when I mentioned the news earlier, Sharek thought I was on about something else. I can tell.
I did.
But 2 news dropped on the same day to 2 of my like favorite IP like properties. So, Sharek, do you want to say the group pick?
The group pick, guys, is Monsters Inc.
We're intellectuals. Like we know.
Obviously, Simon doesn't like it because there's no realism in the film. Simon was watching the film. He said, "This is such an unconservable energy power source. They should just switch to Tesla like everybody else."
Whoa! I would have go with nuclear energy, to be honest.
So, Sharek, why did you pick this film? I have a good idea, but why?
I picked it because I love you, Kyle, and it's your favorite film. But no, I really love Monsters Inc. And you talk about it so much. I've been thinking about. I've been like repraising it in my head. And I was watching clips from it the other day, and I probably need to sit watching the whole film again at one time. But Monsters Inc. is such a
good film, amazing, yeah.
Yeah, Pixar just hit everything at the park. I don't think Pixar has a bad film.
It's insane how good. Like who else has a good track record? Other production company? I don't think any other.
Nah, I wouldn't.
I don't think they have one bad film. I can't name one bad film off the top of my head.
I hate to be that guy, but like Marvel Studios and Pixar both have like the same like.
Yeah, they have the money as well, so
but
it makes
you know what
sense.
I will say? I will say Pixar probably hits better than Marvel because
when
Pixar,
it's better, yeah.
yeah, and like well, in the sense that
It's-
the hit rate's a lot. The hit rate's a lot better because
And
Marvel
it's
had
more-
Thor 1 and Thor 2 and Iron Man 2. Now it's a bit more like
Yeah,
harder
because
to
they're
say,
expanding. They're expanding. They're not just like very generic superhero films.
but, yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I'll take the stage because it is my favorite film. People are probably thinking this 21-year-old's favorite film is Monsters Inc. But it was the first film I saw when I was a kid, and as I got older, you would think sometimes you just grow out of certain things. But like I rewatch it like every year, like not intentionally. It's just always on like BBC One or something. And
Yeah.
it's the most creative like film I've ever seen. Like something doesn't have to be like Inception. It doesn't have to be like the maddest concept that's almost like hard to understand. Like Inception, I understand, but say Tenet, like people are like, oh, it's so creative, like the bold and how risky it is. Like this film, like you know, like a world built, like the world that it builds, and like it has an established rule, and it's never confusing. Like you get it from the go, and there's some like exposition at the start, but they make it entertaining with like the Monsters Inc. advert. It's like, where am I? And it, of course, starts the running gag where Mike's face is covered whenever. Like, even like that, you're just
It's a good joke.
running
It's a good
gag.
joke.
Like, there's so many good gags in that film. Like, put that thing back where it came from. Must help me.
The voice acting as well is top tier because I don't think anybody but Billy Crystal and his name's not John Sully. Sully's the name. That's the name of the character. Sullivan. It's John
Goodman. Is it Goodman?
Goodman. Sorry guys. He's a good man. But no, but Billy Crystal and John Goodman. Nobody could have done that role. I don't know who voices Randall, but Randall's
Steve Buscemi.
Is that Steve Buscemi?
Yeah.
My boy! Oh, I love Steve Buscemi. Man, they're so good. Oh, sorry, I just love Steve Buscemi. So good. Like, yo, that cast is so top tier.
He was a firefighter at 9/11.
I love Steve Buscemi. I know, he's the best. I love Steve Buscemi.
As if you didn't know that was Randall.
That's how good he is. I just love Steve Buscemi. Oh, but he's even as Randall, he's just excellent. Yeah, the voice. I agree with you what you said about the world building is so good. Just down to the fact that everything's powered by scares. They explain it in such a great way. The whole like it all makes sense. And you know, spoilers for Monsters Inc. But they're so lovable, the characters.
It's like, do you know when Billy Crystal, like he's playing Billy Crystal? It was like,
yeah, he's the god. We love Billy Crystal, bro.
Billy Crystal gives off like the same energy as what's his name, Cary Grant. Like,
you know what? Yeah.
It just when Harry Met Sally is going to be a recommendation one day. That's such a peak rom-com.
One of the greatest films ever.
Yeah.
That film has got me through more heartbreak than you ever know. Like that film is A1 shit. I watched that shit in Tokyo. I was on a balcony in Tokyo watching Harry Met Sally. She was in Japanese.
That's what I'm saying with this film. I could watch this in Japanese and know what they are saying.
But even the gags still work.
Yeah,
the gags still work in Monsters Inc.
There's a lot of physical comedy as well, which it sounds stupid to say it's animated, but like slapstick, like it hits every level conceivable of the film. Every film should want to be like
Monsters Inc.
It's a full quadrant film. It has something for adults, for kids, for teenagers, for babies. You know, you said it was the first film you ever watched. Imagine the imprint. My first film was Incredibles. Yo, Pixar again. That's and it. How you feel about Monsters Inc. is how I feel about The Incredibles, which is just.
And Incredibles is still a 5 out of 5 to me, but like. But yeah, the reason we picked this is because the sequel show is coming out in July, and like it was one of those, but it was announced before Disney Plus was released. They were announced
in 2018.
I think the first things they announced were like a Lizzie McGuire show, a Star Wars show, and this. And there was no update, and then they released a poster. They announced the cast, and then nothing.
This was announced end of 2018 or start of 2019 when they in the very first conference call, and then they were very coy about it because you've kept up with every single update.
Yeah.
You know exactly
I
Let's
check
Google
every
that,
month.
son.
I do Google it every month just to see like any update. And then a couple months ago, Billy Crystal said, "Oh, we've recorded some of it." So I was like, "Okay, it's a real thing." And he's like, "But we had to stop because of the pandemic."
You messaged me about this. She said, "Looking at this, maybe it'll come out in October." Yo, you were gassed. I know you were gassed when you saw that news.
But then even then it was like, "Oh, we had to stop because of the pandemic." But I was like, most stuff's got back up and running. And this is
They're in studios when they do animation, like they're in separate boxes.
You were talking like a producer there. You're like, well, sure, you can record from home if you give the equipment.
and then just the other day they released the announced date. And then once that was announced, I was like, okay, it exists. We are going to see this. So and the Spider-Man title the same day, and it was game over.
Can I ask a question on once that worked? I'm just curious about here with you. What if it's like 10-minute episodes? Like
I doubt it.
Like
no,
I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
But what if it is like that Pixar popcorn thing where it's like 2
minute
episodes?
If it's that, then I will shoot myself in the face. it's not because Billy Crystal said that they're like 20 minutes to like feature length. But when he says feature length, he means half an hour.
There's no way they feature length.
He does mean like 20 to 30 minutes. But
you would lose your mind if there was a 10-episode series and they're all an hour and a half long.
Yeah, with that quality as well, bro. That would be expensive as hell to make that.
Kyle every week. We're like, hey guys, put a tick in the chat when you see this. I'm like, yo, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen this week.
I just woke up, man. I just woke up. Relax.
It dropped early in Australia. I got a VPN. I'm like, what are you on about, Kyle? There's no spoilers for us.
It's 3 a.m. in the UK, man. Go back to sleep. Oh, that'd be amazing if it did that. That'd be great.
I'm hoping, as you're an Office stan, I'm hoping it's basically Monsters Inc. merged with The Office.
Can you imagine Mike's one big eye?
Because I know they're not the main characters, but they're returning and the actors are returning. So it's just as long as it's a continuation, I'm down for it.
What if it's a gritty reboot and Mike and Sully die in the first episode, like The Wire gets shut down, and then Nas is The World Is Yours plays over the end. Whose world is this? It's yours. The world is mine. It's mine.
And I'm guessing I'm going down with them.
No, Mike and Sully, no show.
No, I have faith.
Sully has cancer from working at the factory for too long. The laughs have affected him. You got 10 episodes. This is us.
Oh my.
It's a metaphor for like companies taking like shortcuts, trying to sustain energy.
It's about capitalism, then.
Mike dies because they didn't pay for the insurance. He got an accident injury.
There's an advert.
His iron off.
By 2034, we're trying to be 0%, whatever the Amazon adverts are.
Yeah.
But
Jeff Bezos is his boss.
Yeah, they make a metaphor, and like their manager's like Hayward from One Division.
Oh man.
I feel like we should end it there. That was a high note. That was a fun episode, guys.
Virtual 5.
Huh?
All right, guys.
So
hands bigger than Kawhi Leonard, bro.
Thanks.
No, well, that's a lie. I've met him.
My hands are bigger than Kawhi Leonard, arms longer than KD.
So I'd say thank you for watching, guys. I've been Kyle. He's
the big Don Dada, certified lover she's, you know the vibes.
And he's been
Simon.
And we were the CineLads, and I hope you enjoyed.